Big moment. Don't want to miss.
You act like I'm some kind of sissy that.
Well, that sucks.
I'll do a burnout right now. I ain't afraid.
Will the free Cummins run?
That's risky business right there.
What's so funny?
What is it?
Body exhibit.
See him in my mirror cussing me to pieces.
Get you on board with what's going on here?
I'm not apparently.
Excuses get in the way of results. So here, gotta release the brake. Well, welcome back everybody. Piece.n.grease garage, Monday morning. No shooting, but the tree trimmers are back for about the 14th time in 2 months, and they leave their reverse beepers on. So if you hear that, that's what that is. It's D-Day for the 8-lug thug. I teased some people with some 2 rear wheels, but we're not doing that. That was just a joke. We are doing something really cool, really off the wall, radical, Hot Wheels. So we want this thing as light as possible with the strongest frame we got laying around, which just happened to be 89 Suburban frame. It's straight in the back, so we can put the rear axle wherever it needs to go. Right now I have a full width 14 bolt light duty for a square body Chevy. That's what we're going to mock it up with, and we're going to see what happens. First off, we're going to get rid of the stuff we don't need, and the stuff we don't need is all of this, which is doing nothing. The seam sealer that held the quarter panels to the trunk floor was basically roofing tar in 1949 and a half, 50. So they take, they put a floor in it, and then they roofing tar everything in there. It's the thickest, nastiest stuff. I don't even think my plasma cutter is going to work. I thought about just zipping all the way around it, but I don't even think that's going to work. So we may have to get creative. There's goops, like you could see in there. There's like slime running down from where they installed that stuff. And then they must have just put a rubber mat over it. It's kind of wild, but we don't need any of it. So it's all got to go. That's what we're going to do. A lot of you are going to say, Tim, you should brace that. I'm not going to brace it. Basically, we have a front firewall and we have a rear firewall, basically. And I'm going to rely on that. Those were your crash points in 1950. Those are the strongest parts of the car. I've got the whole body lifted, centering on the quarter windows right now. That's the balance point. That's going to come into play. You're going to wonder, you're going to ask yourself, Tim, why do you care if it's light? And why do you want to know where the balance point's at? Well, you're going to see here in a little bit, hopefully today. Hopefully I can get this going a little bit today, show you what I'm doing, give you an idea of what's getting ready to happen. We're not going to have all this frame back here. So what I'm going to do today is eyeball the front wheel. I'm going to eyeball the front wheel in the fender. I'm going to put both front fenders on it, a couple bolts. They're heavy, so we got to get those light somehow too. And so we're going to try to mock up the front wheelbase, and we'll have 8-lug brakes, 8-lug steering, 8-lug sway bar, 8-lug everything. Really good setup up front. Parts store at AutoZone. One of the best front ends ever. I don't know why I'm holding my hands like this, like I'm praying, but here goes the blower again. And hopefully they don't run each other through it. Get rid of the rear floor, get the fenders on it, chop what frame we don't need off, get the rear end stuck under it, mocked under it somehow, sitting there so we can eyeball this sucker. And I think you're going to like where I'm going with this. I really do. So this is going to be different. No one's building one of these on YouTube right now. Okay? I don't care what you say. No one's building this. I am. It's the only one. Stay tuned. You gotta excuse the noises. I'm sorry. I thought I lived out in the country, but it's ridiculous anymore to try to get anything done around here. So we need a more serene place to do our wrenching, if you know what I mean. I'm gonna hit it with the Sawzall, the old Captain Cord 1000 first off, because you can't outwork a Sawzall with a cord on it. I don't care who you are. We're gonna get rid of all this shit that's been in the way. It's been part of the reason I've never done anything with it. We got the old frame out of the way. There's no more excuses. Excuses get in the way of results. So a while back I installed this plate back here. It's not quite a 1/4 inch thick, but I'm going to leave that. That's going to be my cut line. We'll keep that there. I don't know if we'll be able to use that for what we're going for or not. You'll see. We got to find some strength in here somewhere to pull off what I'm trying to do. I got to find some strength somewhere, and I ain't sure where it's going to be, but we'll see. I put these supports in 4 years ago to kind of keep everything square because I knew this would have to happen. Today it's happening. Today's the day. Me and the tree trimmers. Need gloves to do this. Glasses and gloves. So far, so good. You ever run a Sawzall and it makes your nose itch like crazy? It's freaking weird. That big old Santa Claus nose from rubbing it. Oh yeah. Don't let those tree trimmers mess you up, babe. Shit's happening, she says. Shit. She's about out of there. Now, that looks straight. We're going to leave that. So, there's a little hole here. I don't know what from. There's a square hole there. I'm going to use that, get my blade in there and go across the back. We're going to leave the rear bulkhead, the rear of the seat, because that's got 45s. It ain't going to move. Who cares if it moves? You'll see why. You'll know. One little more section. She's coming out of there. All right, there was 2 parts of this car that was bad. That was the frame and the trunk. I got rid of them. It's like a bad friend. Cut them out. Get rid of them. No more. So the fender wells are junk too, but they give us some kind of shape for what we're going after, and that's what matters, I think, the most. So let's keep on moving. I'm gonna get these boggers out of the way because I don't want anybody to think I'm building another one-wheel drive, 6-tired vehicle. So those were just for inspiration to mock up. Let's keep moving with the original plan. All right, you still with me? Let's lower this thing down, see what she looks like now. Gotta release the brake. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting close where we can cut that frame off. I mean, that looks pretty daggone good to me. We may open them up, make them fit better, radius some more. But, I mean, that's within spec, Tim spec, eyeball range. That's going to work. Let's cut the frame off. No turning back. Keep moving forward. All right, here we are at the back. So we don't need this. If I cut it off, I won't be tempted to make a rear axle hang out there and look stupid. So we're taking it off for sure, but we're going to leave a little bit of it, maybe. I don't know. No, let's cut it underneath. So let me raise it up. All right here we got these rivet points from the old axle that was on there. We're going to use those as a measuring point, and we're gonna go, I'm gonna make a line. Then let's go about halfway between. Let's go 3 inches back from the edge of those. 3 inch. Let's start a cut. Can't hardly outwork a sawzall. All right, I obviously didn't cut it all the way through, so it'll hold itself while I cut the other side. It's my third hand. Make a line. Pull it 3 inches back. Whack it. Wear your glasses. Tell you a secret. A lot of you already know, but this was a Suburban frame. It had a 34 or a 42 gallon tank in the back. I think there was 31, 34, 42, and that's what this cross member is. And the one up underneath, you can take those and put them in a square body in the back where the spare tire goes, and put like a show truck. You don't want saddle tanks showing, and you don't want a fuel cell. Then that's what I got on my big blue flatbed. I got a 31 gallon gas tank under the flatbed. So, because every time I lifted it more, you could just keep seeing more of the gas tank. And is any of that package is mine?
It's our hog ring pliers and our staples and our.
She's buying hog ring pliers.
And our podcast stuff.
Podcast.
So it is for us.
We want to be podcasting.
We're getting prepared.
Who are we going to interview?
Ourselves at first.
Okay. I'm going to keep cutting.
Maybe campground people.
She's doing upgrades. Yeah, we'll interview the campgrounders. We'll be like soft white underbelly.
Yeah.
Where are you going?
Hard white campground. Camera crew's back.
Got me a camera crew. Cameraman. Tom's Refurb always just calls him cameraman.
Camera chick.
Don't even call them by their name. Cameraman. But anyways, cutting this frame. No 6x6. That was a internet sensation. That was like a Bigfoot sighting. But anyways, I already showed them cutting out the trunk floor. Look.
Nice.
Trunk floor in the frame was bad. We're getting rid of the bad parts. So let's cut this. You ever see Naked Gun
Yeah.
with O.J. Simpson? And they was going around questioning people, and they went in a sex store. And O.J. Simpson was real goofy in that. And he's over there and he picks up this drill and it has something on the end. You just imagine, that about broke my arms there when it broke on through. I always remembered old O.J. He was pretty funny in that movie. Then he became a murdering son of a bitch.
Yeah. Well.
I jerk my teeth out again. It'll make your nose itch like hell when it does that. You ever experienced that?
I have. Oh. That made me real nervous.
Keep that in mind for later.
Yeah.
She says, yeah. It was at one time. It was some wicked yard art. What?
It was. I loved it, but it's gonna even be more awesome now.
I want it to look just like the yard art. Lower, big block.
Yeah.
Gotta get this cross member out of the back of that. That's Suburban gas tank cross member. That's square body gold. Square body gold. We're trending. Trending in the right direction. Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
There ain't much left of the old car, man. Look at it moving.
Oh, I know.
Can we save that?
We're gonna.
There ain't much there, is there? I didn't realize it was that bad.
That's just your fender moving.
That's the whole unit.
It looks like it's just your inner fender not attached
They're
to
not
the.
even attached.
That's what I'm saying.
They're glued in.
It's not attached. That's why it's moving so easy.
Look how much I talked about it at the beginning of the video, but look how much it's just like roofing tar.
Yeah.
But up here's some strength. Here's some strength. These aren't, but we'll start building out. We'll start building off of that.
Exactly. You just need a basis.
When do we tell them what is going to happen with it? I don't know, man. I don't know if it'll even work. There's your buddy.
Oh, I seen him getting his mail. That guy's a turd, everybody. Right there in that black truck. He's a turd, mouth runner, little liar.
It moved, but it's all right. It's going to be stout. Stout burnout vehicle. I don't know. I'm not unveiling my plan yet.
Yeah, don't tell him yet. It's too soon.
You think so?
I know you, so you're going to tell him after you say you're not. So, you know.
I could mock it up real quick.
This guy.
Stick the bar through there. If the problem with here's the only problem with showing off what I want to do. Someone's going to try to do it.
Don't do it.
I seen a SEMA recap, and every truck at SEMA was 6-wheeler. What the fuck?
I don't know. That's the way it always goes for me, too.
6-wheelers everywhere. I built Dick Banjo without any inspiration from outside influences. And now everyone has one. So, whatever, you know. Dick Banjo probably would have been a bigger hit if we'd have kept it a secret.
Probably, but that's not the life we live of secrets.
So I can't hardly keep this a secret.
We put it all out there.
Let me just hang on 5 minutes.
Oh, God, I knew it.
There's a chance it could fall. This is the first try ever.
That's risky business right there.
What's so funny? There's a lot of jokes you can use. What's so funny? Let's see what happens.
Oh, God.
It's settling.
The other side, what's it even resting on?
Stuff, man. It's on there.
Oh, from here it didn't look like it was.
It's heavy. It's going to be the problem. Yeah, we're all right. Let's see what it'll do. It's moving around. It might fall off the back. See if it's even possible.
The back don't even look like it's going up.
We don't want it to.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
I didn't know.
Are you on board with what's going on here?
I'm not,
You don't
apparently.
even know.
I don't even know what's happening.
Howdy car. Howdy business. Can you handle this much attention? This is you getting out at a car show. Huh?
Yeah.
You can.
I said yeah.
You can handle that.
I'm the one that handles everything. You're the one that can't handle it.
Look at it.
You act like I'm some kind of sissy that always questions everything, and I never question anything. I just do it.
These are innovative moments right here.
I know it.
These are moments that people forget when they just see you come pulling in. This is like a 14-point buck I'm standing next to. It's,
Jesus. What a comparison.
it is. How do you do a buck? How do you hold it?
You got to get down and put one knee up and hold its head up high in front of you. Get a knee up on the frame. You got
Do
it.
that with a funny car.
Oh, yeah, that's it. There it is.
Falls and crushes my
Oh,
leg.
my God.
Comes out the side.
Can't stand you.
Who has a 50 Pontiac funny car?
We do.
So I think my original plan of making everything go up would be too much.
Yeah.
I think we make the front its own, slide forward. This is what guys would do. 55 Chevys, a real nice front end would slide forward a little bit and then tip.
Okay.
Just have some slotted. I know I could use leaf spring sliders for a roundy round car and have me a pivot point, and we'll whack that off. Then this will be the cat's ass when it comes to working on it.
Can't wait.
So what I want to have is basically a floor in it, believe it or not. But what we're going to have is
Hold on. I don't mean to interrupt. I just have to catch this because it never happens. Look at my mom outside the house. You never see that. I didn't mean to interrupt. That was real important.
that's a cold shot. Right
It's
there.
real important. You don't. One time we pulled in the driveway and she had her little campfire outside. Tim said, "What's wrong? What's happening?"
I've hit that with the mower deck and ripped all the bricks off about 17
You're a
times.
jerk. I built that.
I've rebuilt it 17 times. So this is it. This is it. So come back here and look.
My mom's going to be mad when she watches that.
All right. So we need to make a pivot point.
Yeah.
It just needs the dump truck.
Yeah.
So we need to get some serious strength in here, build up through there. That will hold this whole rear end. This car is not going to get street driven.
No.
We'll drive it. I mean, it'll be driven on the street, but this car won't be. This, you know what
I do know.
get what I'm saying?
I'm there.
Minimal.
There.
So maybe a roll cage fastened to the floor. That way, when the car raises up, there's an element of safety involved.
Right.
That way, if we got wild and hit the wall and the body flew off, you're still safe.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
2 racing seats, built to raise hell.
Our kids hate us. We only have 2-seaters besides the van.
They're not going to hate us when they're riding in the back of a sleeper.
I
PlayStation
know.
5
I
going down the
know.
highway. Because this car's going to make us famous.
I love it.
Nothing to get us any more attention than a funny car.
What do you guys think? I'm excited.
We need more info. This won't be the tire, but. So, I haven't done any calculations, right?
Whoa.
But if my calculations are correct, this will fit on the car trailer with
Dick
anything
Banjo.
else. Because the guy who had the trailer before me hauled 2 K20 long beds on that trailer. But the ramps could be a problem, but we'll chain those up. But if we're going somewhere, we need to burn out.
Yeah.
Some of those burnout contests pay good money.
And it's fun too.
Are we going to tear the motor out of the motorhome?
Yes.
That's going to suck.
I know.
Maybe somebody's got a big buck to donate. We don't have to do that. But that's a motor and transmission ready to go right in
I know.
and do instant burnouts.
It's going to suck, but I mean, eventually we got to do it anyway. So
Yeah.
that's what it'll be used for at some point. So at some point we have to do it.
First look.
Yeah.
Okay, so there aren't very many of these because funny cars came along in the 60s. I've done a lot of reading and research. I'm no expert, but I had funny car books. I've had gasser books. More of these were gassers because they didn't have good parts. And then they started moving weight transfer, moving axles, lightening things up, making them because they didn't have good tires. So they had to make the weight transfer work better. So there are really no such thing as a 50 Pontiac gasser. Funny car. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of all of it.
Yeah.
There you go. You've seen it first.
I love it.
All right.
We have an articulated, what is it?
Body exhibit.
It's a body exhibit, Shiv. I know you don't even watch Shiv, but we got our own bodies
This
exhibit.
is a damn 1987 body exhibit.
It is.
Built in 1987, American made. I don't think it's got diabetes or cancer yet. There's some cancer involved, but not in this. I thought it would be neat to lay everything out, just also to let Wyatt see it, to let you see it, to let anybody else who don't see it what goes on. And it'll be kind of like putting together a model or something.
Right.
So,
It is neat to see it laid out like that, you know?
So a while back, I bought some parts off Keith Moore. And let me show you what I got. At the time, and this ain't a shot at Keith, but at the time, he messaged me and said that I got the 4-speed transmission out of Dick Banjo off of him, and then sold him the axle out of that frame we're working on today. And he called me one day. He said, "I got some square body parts I'm going to have soon. How much do you want it?" It was half-ton axles and everything. And I was like, "I don't know what I'll do with it. I just really don't know if I. But yeah, I'll take it." I thought I had a couple of weeks or something. He showed up like the next day. I think he even came twice. This motor, not those valve covers, but this motor, that transmission, those exhaust pipes that are for a 4-wheel drive Chevy, which got a bend around the transfer case, those headers, a set of half-ton axles, that red drive shaft. I got a bunch of shit for $500.
That's awesome.
We didn't even know he was getting that.
Right.
And then like a few weeks later, that truck was here, and I was like,
Sometimes the stars align.
we was gonna build a car out of a lot of this stuff, but I also got more. I got other stuff, so this isn't all I got. But the motor out of Keith Moore's truck, and then I have to use the newer bell housing that was in this truck. I'm using the 4-speed 208 that I got off Keith because it's cleaner. If there's something wrong with it, we'll go back to the other one. There's a cross member, drive shaft clearance cross member. I didn't want to run headers, but there they are. And there's the exhaust. And there's the drive shaft that came out of this truck. And here's an important thing to know. If you're 3/4 ton swapping something, the rear U-joint will be different. Okay, now the front is obviously, it's a half-ton drive shaft. The yokes are smaller, 1310, I think, maybe. But if you get online, you can Google combination rear U-joint. And there's 2 different part numbers. One, if you have a 10 bolt, which this truck had a 10 bolt, or there's another part number if you have 12 bolt. So you can just buy a U-joint for that drive shaft, because we only lifted it 4 inches, and that drive shaft won't need lengthened. So I will just buy a combination U-joint through Napa. We'll have to get a whole barn Charlie.
Oh, yeah.
See if we can
Get a family discount?
Yeah,
I knew he'd hook it up after all this time.
I think he will.
Yeah.
That's it. Wyatt don't have a lot of mechanical knowledge. Could you imagine being my son? And that'd be like if your dad was Jimi Hendrix and you didn't ever play the guitar. But I really don't like shit my dad's involved with either, so I know how that goes. I mean, I'm hobbies, you know what I mean? This is what I do. And so I thought it'd be neat to lay it all out and let Wyatt see what's going on. And it's kind of turned into a father building a truck for his son. We're going to try to keep him involved. But if you got 15-year-old kids, you know that it's challenging. But
When he's ready to work on something is not always when you're ready to work on something.
Yeah.
And he picks odd hours to want to do things. So like when you finish up down here and you're headed to the house, he says, "I'm ready to work on something."
Yeah.
After you've been down here for 8 hours. So it's a hard tooth to pull whenever your kids, you know.
we live on, we don't, okay, let me be honest. We don't own 25 acres. But we rent a house on 25 acres of
Yeah.
family property that we have full run of. And I've been telling him, you should run around here, because he quit playing football, but he still works out every day. And I said, "Why? You should run around here." Well, the other night, 9 o'clock.
Dark as could be.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful night, but I mean,
Start is
decided it was time for a run.
go for a run
At
yeah.
9:30.
And then the next
Who
day,
does that?
And we got a gravel road that's like 300 yards long. And the next day he's limping. And he's like, "Oh, my knee hurts." And rocks that big. Kids are wild.
They're wild, man. You can't tell them nothing. They do weird stuff.
I
Like
was a real dumbass too.
everybody was, but like you don't realize it till you got your own and you're looking at it dead in the face every day. That's it. That's when you realize that you were a
Let me
dumbass.
show you something here while you're talking.
Okay.
This is why if your brain tells you you need something, buy it. One day I bought some parts off Kyle House, and this shifter was involved in that deal, right? When I was a kid, you could buy a shifter for $189. A B&M quarter stick with the cover and a knob and a cable. I haven't looked, man. They're probably $400. This will be perfect for the burnout car.
Perfect.
All we need is a cable and a knob. We don't care about nothing else.
Awesome.
You're going to do some burnouts too.
I know I'm real good at them. You don't even know that about me.
You might be like old Lacey Blair.
I'm better.
Red-
I'll say it right now. Listen, I grew up doing burnouts in my dad's shit. Nobody knows that. My dad's been dead since you and I have been together. You know nothing about my childhood.
Something that nobody knows about me. There was a period in time, every vehicle I bought, I had to do the burnout test. As soon as I got away from their house.
Yeah.
One time I bought a crew cab K30 Chevy for like $1,800. And in the bed was 8-foot fluorescent lights and bulbs and beer bottles. And I had old stupid Mike Lutz with me. And we stopped over in Ridgeville at that 5-way stop.
Yeah.
And I got up on the power brake, and it really did nothing. It had a ton of shit in the bed. And when I let off the brake, when the traffic got clear, it did a little peel, and the tailgate opened, and everything come out.
Oh my God, that's stupid.
I remember beer bottles spinning.
Oh my God.
Cars won't. That's the 48.
Yeah.
Cars won't slow down.
No, it's a bad
me and
spot.
Lutz, there was busted fluorescent bulbs and shit.
Gee whiz.
That kind of broke me of that.
When I was 14, my dad bought me a Firebird for when I was turning 16.
Save these for the podcast.
That's true. But he let me drive it from where we bought it, and he followed me. Okay, and we got to the red light in Red Lion where 741 meets 122 at the little carryout right there. And I was sitting at the red light, and his little shop assistant, BJ, Anthony Framestead, was in the car with me, and he said, do a burnout. And I was like, how do I do it? I'd never done one. This was my first burnout, 14. And so he said, hold down the brake and give it as much gas as you can. So I did at that bad intersection. Horrible intersection.
Which one?
122 and 741 where the carryout is in Red Lion.
Before they redid it?
I mean, it was a
five-way
red light.
It was a 5-way though.
5-way, yeah. So we're at that bad intersection, and he told me what to do, and I did it. My dad's behind me, and I can see him in my mirror cussing me to pieces. He was cussing. Our house was right around the corner. We turned the corner, we pulled in the driveway. He said, I'm going to say this, it's bad. This motherfucker's going up for sale right now. Get the fuck out of the car, he said. And I never drove it again, but that was my first burnout, and I'll do a burnout right now. I ain't afraid. That's it. That's my story.
All right, it's beautiful outside, but about 25 tree trimmers decided to work out in front of my house today with about 4 chippers running. So, F you guys. We're going to jump inside real quick and do something that is, it needs done. It's very important, especially when you buy stuff that you don't know what you're buying. I'm going to give you a quick rundown on how to see what you got. When you're building a vehicle this old, I bought these that you don't know what's inside. I bought this set of axles from a guy named Wyatt for $200. Square body, 3/4 tons, mid-80s, 10-bolt front, 14-bolt in the back. It was such a good deal, I didn't care what gears are in them. There's no tags. Somebody's probably been inside them. Let's pull them open, see what we got. It only takes a few minutes. So I'll set you right there. Let me grab a ratchet. Don't pull on the bumper because it's not bolted on. Smoke your brains out. All right. Basically what we have here is a 10-bolt Chevy. One of the most common axles ever made. Millions and millions of trucks had these. Parts are easy to get. They're easy to work on. Don't know what gears are in them. You hope for 410s. 410s are pretty good. 373s if you got some power and you're gonna stay 33, but now there's a wicked motorcycle out there making noise. This is the noisiest place on earth. Used to be nice out here. Sportsman's paradise. Let's leave that top bolt in. You experienced people know why. Gotta get in here and tighten the U-bolts. That's one thing I noticed. Gotta finish the lift, knock the U-bolts in, tighten them down. That's really good oil right there. That's a great sign. It sucks to waste it, but no chunks came out. So much for leaving my bolt in there. Must not have had it in far enough. Alright, here's where we're at. We want to see these numbers. There's numbers on this ring gear here. They'll tell you what you need to know. No rust, no carnage. Come on, 410s. So a 4110 is what you want. Let's see. This is the only algebra you need to know to be good at stuff. Sometimes they're hard to read. 4111, 410 gear. That's a bonus. If I scored a set, if I got a set of 3/4 ton axles with 410 gears, I scored. I'm telling you, that is a score. So that looks clean. Like that looks like it's never been used. This axle's in perfect shape. Ball joints are good in this axle. I was gonna leave this truck half ton for my son and then just keep it on the road, but the stock front end had ball joint issues. There's no reason to mess with it. For $200, even if this one had ball joint issues, at least I'm fixing the better of the axles. Plus I like 8-lug stuff myself. So we'll let that drain, hit it with some brake cleaner, get the cover cleaned off, and seal it back on there. That's good to go. Tim tips of the day, how to check your gear ratio. I get a flashlight and double check. They're usually easier to read. That one's a little tricky to see. You hear what's going on outside? I can't do anything. It's real hard to read. But I see 4111. It's real hard to read. It's like etched on there. It's not stamped in there. So we could check the back. That means your pinion will spin 4 times for every time the ring gear spins once. Axle spin good. Let's go see what the back says here in a few minutes. Let that sit there and dry. Let's go see what we got in the rear end. All right, here we are at the back. This is what you call the greatest rear end ever built. This is a 14-bolt Chevy. These come under about every Chevy truck from 73 to all the way up to 91, and they still made them in different versions. Bolts are tight on this one. We painted them ourselves. That's why they look so good. They were pretty rusty when I got them. Paint on the heads of the bolts. It's going to be a problem 12 more times. God dang, dude. Why is that so tight? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was tight. Let's just go ahead and loosen them, I guess. I thought that one wasn't going to come. Ouch. God dang, why are they so tight? I don't want to break my good. Some of them are just tight. explain when got them so tight. It's like a victory to get one out. All right, 4 more. Oh yeah, some of them are just god awful tight. I see water coming out. That ain't good when water's coming out. Might not got such a good deal. I thought there might be a water problem when the bolts wouldn't come out. Oh, there's oil in there. Water was dripping first. Water's heavier than the oil. It was clear. Liquids do some crazy things. It looks good in there. I don't know where that water came from. How many tires can you just move your whole vehicle with? Boggers. More reasons why you should buy some. Where's the numbers at? Right all the way around. Can't find the numbers yet. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Is that crazy or what? Almost into the toolbox. I didn't see him. I put straw all the way up in there. Huh. I don't know. 4111. 4111. 410 gears, boys. 41 divided by 11. Oh, wait, I'm wrong. Should have went to school. That's 373. That ain't bad though. 373s. Duh. Yeah, 4111. So 4110 would be 410. No, 41.9. 4.10. 4111 is 373. That's not bad though. 373 with a 4-speed. He'll be able to handle that. That'll go down the road good once you're going. Don't have a lot of trailer towing power, but it don't even have a hitch. All right, well, they're clean. I wasn't doing very good math there, but I figured it out. You were figuring it out while I was saying it. You knew I was messing with you. 373s. Ah, this truck rolls around good. Boggers. Boggers. All right. Quick axle differential investigation reveals 3.73, actually 3.2737.27, 373. All right, what that means is don't go bigger than a 33. It's a 4-speed, so we need to keep more low RPM grunt, which means we don't want to throw a top-end cam or a top-end LS in it. That'd be good axles for a big block, good axles for a young man, good axles for a stock small block Chevy, or excuse me, with a cast iron intake and a 4-barrel. That's all we're going for on this. We're not even going to change the intake. The intake gaskets are good. It's going to save us money. We're going to spend that money on fluids. We're going to put all new oil in it. We're going to put new gearbox oil in it, transfer case oil in it, new fluids in the axles. We'll basically have us a brand new truck when we're done with the old wrapping. That's what we try to do here at Piece and Grease, is we try to redo originals. Most of our trucks are original paint. We're not in the market of painting them. We don't have time for paint. A lot of people tell me, we're taking this apart to paint it. Dumbest thing I've ever heard. You'll never drive it again. If you take something apart to paint it, you will never drive it again. 99% of you, you know what I mean. You guys have done it. You guys have taken things apart. I've seen it. I've done it. You can see it out there. I took it apart to make it nicer. So I'm speaking from experience. I'm the security of dumbasses. So don't be a dumbass and drive them. If you're going to restore one, get a separate one to restore, but drive them and enjoy them. They're way funner. I talked to a guy the other day, a friend of mine I've known forever, and he said, oh, we're getting ready to take my son's truck apart, and oh my God, quit dragging them home and killing them. Drag them home and put a motor in them. You could have taken, okay, I'm going to speak honestly now, and if you think I'm talking too much, you should have turned it a long time ago, because I don't give a shit. This truck needs a paint job. Okay, but what's that going to do? Honestly, you tell me in the comments, what's a fresh paint job going to do to that truck? It's going to make it to where I don't want my 16-year-old son to drive it. Every little ding is a problem. It spent 9 months in a body shop, and you had to drag it out and bring it home and buff it yourself. And to 9 years in a body shop. An old friend of mine took a truck apart from out west, took it apart. That truck will never be back together. I could have it running in a few days. So drive them. That 8-lug Thug broke me down on mechanic work, man. I haven't even got to enjoy it yet. So part of me hates it, but part of me will enjoy it when I'm out cruising it and my LS motor's running good and I'm cruising down the road and the sunset's hitting. So that's it. I got to ranting on people trying to make things perfect. You can't chase perfection because there's no such thing. They weren't perfect when they were new. Single stage paint. Buff the son of a bitch. Fix the hard parts. Blend it in. Drive it. In just a few short weeks, it's went from a half-ton crusty demon. Look. It's ready. That's as good as anybody's truck. Ready to drop the motor in. We used paint that we had left over. She just got in there and put in the work. There's still paint in there. She didn't spill this one. So that's good news. But we're going to take this trim off. I'm going to buff this side down. He did the other side. I'm going to start buffing it. We'll just keep buffing it. who's the buffest? Buff Bagwell. So that's it. We might have to paint the roof. The roof is looking pretty sketchy. The paint's kind of gone, so we may throw a quart of single stage on the roof, or maybe even use spray paint, to be honest with you. We'll just prep it down from the trim up, and we will keep on it. The goal is to have enough garages to store these trucks inside eventually, so that's the plan. But all right, we'll get back to work. Big moment, don't want to miss. Sometimes you get going, you forget to film. Look here. So this is the free Cummins, and I know you're saying, free Cummins? How'd you get a free Cummins? Well, I don't know how I got it, but a local guy messaged me all the way back in January and said, I got something you want. Talk to me. He said, I got a 12-valve Cummins you can have for free. There's no such thing as free, and this guy didn't owe me any favors. So I went over there, and long story short, it was a whole truck. I said, hell yes, I'll take it. He said, hell yes, I'll deliver it. Weeks went by. Month went by. 2 months went by. He ghosted me. One day I made a post. Sometimes I say too much. Sometimes I say just the right things. I got on Facebook. I said, man, somebody gives something away, then don't give it to you. Like, it's just weird, Within minutes, I had a message. Come get that truck. Be at my house Saturday morning. We did. We went down there. We did a little damage to our trailer to get it. Nothing's free. We got it home. Gigantic piece of shit. He said it would run and drive. There was parts missing. There was wheels missing. There was stuff missing. It was free. No such thing as free. It took me forever to get the motivation to pull it out. I gave the rest of it to my buddy Mike Voltall. I kept the motor and transmission and the shifter. That's really all I kept. Everything else, I wanted it to fuck out of my sight. Never heard it run. He said it leaked oil between the motor and transmission, and it's low on oil. And it's a remanufactured 12-valve at some point. It was in a water hauling truck. I'm filming this like it's an intro because we're getting ready to see if it'll run. I got a 5-gallon can of diesel fuel. I got a return and a supply. I got a fresh Optima battery. I'm going to hook the Bobcat to it to stabilize it. And we're going to spend as little time as we can to see if this basic son of a bitch will run. And if this runs, then we can start the process of flipping the oil pan around, getting the right pickup, making it more pickup truck friendly, because as of now, front sump oil pan, it's not going in anything we got. It was in a giant truck with a giant straight axle, and I have read you can flip the pans around. I'll just have to do some investigation onto the oil pickup on that. Probably just a pickup truck freaking pickup will work. So let's hear it run. Been long enough. This has been ongoing. It's been almost a year since this was even mentioned. So we're eventually going to pull it apart. I'm going to take the front cover off, check the dowel pin. I'm going to retime it. I'm going to put delivery valves in it, injectors in it, reseal it, take the oil pan off, flip it around, new oil pan gasket, new front oil seal gasket. I want to start getting it ready for trucks, because if anything ever happens to C50, I need a motor, and there's no reason to have a motor sitting around here that you haven't heard run. There's no such thing as free. So we're getting ready to fire this son of a bitch up and see what we got. Enough talking. All right, we got a negative cable on it right here. Let's get our battery over here. All right. Hopefully one battery will crank this old boy over. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna get this old one out of the way. I started taking the starter wire off, but we're just gonna leave it on there and use it. Well, now it don't tighten up, so we'll see what happens. We know how to work around that. We just got a manual fuel shut off on this one. No wire needed. No electronics needed. It just needs to turn over. I grew up with this kid, my neighbor. He just passed away the other day. Frank William Pennington. Billy Pennington, I called him. He went by Frank online. He passed away. He had a brain tumor for a long time, so it was pretty bad deal for him for years. But when I was a kid, they lived next to me, and his parents were kind of wild. And one time I watched him start this Ford engine. They always had old Ford trucks, and so they were always working on them. And I watched him start this engine hanging from a tree. Shit, she'll run. You heard that? Sounded like it was wanting to start already. Let's give her some pumps. It's primer. This is on the driver's side. It's like a small box Chevy looking thing, fuel pump. Give her some cranks. On this one, this is our fuel shutoff right here. It's up. There's a lever here that would shut that off to kill it. So as long as that's up, it should run. That's the only thing that makes it run. Let's see what happens. Will the three Cummins run? Well, I can hear fuel going in the injection pump. She's making oil over here for some reason. It's got a hole. It's got a hole in it. This motor ain't gonna run. It's got a hole in the tappet cover. That didn't just happen. I think it has an oil line broke off. What'll happen? Dumped all the oil out of it. That was dumb. It's got oil pressure. Shit. Well, that sucks. Well, it runs. Quit. That's a big oil slick right there. God dang. Exxon Valdez. Well, it ran. Now we're gonna find out why it's leaking oil. Huh. Three Cummins, fire died up. Poured all the oil out of it. I think it's got a oil line that broke off of it back in the back here for some reason. It's leaking out of there. And this line is hanging right here. Oh well, it runs. Need to change oil anyway. Peace. Alright. Good news, bad news. It fired right up and ran. Bad news is it dumped all the oil out of it in seconds. I gotta find out where that hose went and what's going on. So, good news, bad news. Alright. Will it start? Free Cummins. Yes, it did. Did it puke all of its oil out on the floor? Yes, it did. Broken fitting. Some reason there was a hose that goes to something. I'm not sure what yet. But this braided line right here went into the block and was broke off and was leaking like crazy. So if I replace that with a plug, should be able to fire it back up. Let me see what I got over in my parts bin. All right, we got the hole plugged. Let's put some oil in it. See what we got. It's not like pumping pure petro right on the ground. don't know how much we leaked out, but I don't have a lot to put in it, so we're going to do what we can with what we got. We want to hear it run for a minute. There's some oil leaking right on the ground. Got a hole in the jug. It started pretty good. I could hear the injection lines taking fuel. Come on now. One-handed man. She was pumping oil extreme. Oh, I don't know where that went. Turbo gets its oil right off the filter housing. I'm not sure what that went to. Leave a comment. It was in a big FL70. I don't know what would have provided oil to. I don't know what would have shared the oil with the motor. The compressor has its own line. I don't know. To be figured out. To be determined. Do you have any oil in you? No. I don't see how it could pump that much oil out of that small of a hole in that quick of amount of time. But it did. Let's see what other kind of oil I got. This is going to deplete my stash of anything oil. I always try to buy a little extra when I buy oil. We might just fire it up with what's in it. It's just a waste of money to pump oil down it, so let's fire it up again, see what happens. Let's see if we can at least not panic this time and get it to smooth out and run. No electronics, no wires, positive, negative, flip the fuel, fired up. Free Cummins, there it is. It's the only one I've ever heard of being free. And it runs. Damn, son. Hey, that's all we need to hear. Now we just clean up our mess, grin ear to ear, use it, utilize it. That's going to be going down the highway dragging something cool. This stuff makes me happy. All right, let's recap. It's only Monday. 373 gears in the Wyatt's truck. We got the covers clear, draining out in the pan. We're going to clean them, glue them, put them back on tonight. 12 valve, free 12 valve, fired right up. Had a massive oil leak. I should have stopped. What I ended up doing was taking it easy out, screwing that out, putting just a pipe plug in there. We'll figure out what it goes to. That engine, now I can take the, now that I've heard it run, I can take the bell housing off. I can take the starter, flywheel, get that stuff out of the way, save it. And then I might pull the manifold off of it and the turbo, just so I can clean it better. And then we're definitely taking the front cover off. We have to get that front engine mount off of it. And then we have to get the oil pan off of it. God, it's a good day, though. It's a real good day. So, and we got a funny car right outside. 8 Lug Thug funny car version 2.0 is coming to life. There it is. It's real. We're going to make it hinge. We're going to make it cylinder up. It's a big day. I keep my mind working. ADHD probably is what's wrong with me, and it's probably the best thing. I mean, I laid my stuff out. I'm meal prepping, you see. But we have a spare 12 valve. So that changes the game to me. Got a spare tow motor sitting here. There's another one in the campground I'm trying to get my hands on, a first gen 5-speed. Lady lives in the campground and she needs some work done on her 24 valve 5-speed. So I've been trying to talk to her about getting that. If I could get my hands on that, the truck is junk, the cab is junk. If I could get my hands on that, I would be tempted to take that Cummins and 5-speed and put it directly in the blue truck with a divorce transfer case, Ford 205. I already got it. And I want to put a Ford Super Duty or a Ford Snowfighter 78, 79 Dana 60 in the front of that truck. And we're going to use that Dana 60 in my blue truck for our van. We're rocking and rolling. Lots of projects, lots going on. Never stop rolling. We're living the dream. You've seen it here first. Free 12 valve runs, 373 gears. This is ready to go. We're just going to need to buy a clutch. One payment left on my Bobcat right there. Paid $35,000 for that thing 6 years ago. I owe one more payment. I sent the last payment. I sent the 71st payment out today. As soon as I got money, I'm going to send the 72nd payment out. And that Bobcat is mine. 500 hours, Miller Electric. Through the years, I used it. I earned it. It's mine. It's going to be here for a long time. It's a good day. I'm excited. This makes me happy. All right, still at it. Just seems late. It's not late. I got the covers cleaned up. Really nothing in them. So this is what I like to use. Put that on there. These are big covers. You can put it on nice and thick. And what I like to do is I like to put it on here a little bit. Now. I like to put it on now. Then I like to get under there. And what I'll do is I'll get under there and clean. I'm going to put the goop on the rear one first because that's where the tools are. So I'm going to put the goop on. Then I'm going to get under there with some brake clean and a pan and a few rags. And I'm going to clean that off. Make sure it's ready. And by the time I get that done, it'll be tacked up. And we'll set it right on there. Snug it down. And then we'll wait. I don't have any gear oil. So we'll wait a little while until we put the gear oil in it. A few days. We'll start making a list. And we'll make sure that we don't forget to put gear oil in it. Everything's so expensive anymore. I don't even use that lid. I just open her up, start to go. It's like laying dimes. They make gaskets for these, but this works just as good. Typically don't have a gasket laying around. If somebody wanted to send me some gaskets, I'd be sure more than happy to use them, but I always just use RTV seal because I got it. This is one of those things you buy when you go to parts store, no matter if you need it or not. We just want to make sure there's no gaps. No extremely high spots. Go ahead and put it on this one too while we're at it. Oh, that was all air. You hear that? She let out one. That's like a bag of Doritos. Half of it's air. So it might be cheaper to use a gasket these days. If you're only going to get 2 out of 1. I probably could put it on a little bit lighter, but the last few I've done leaks, so I got a complex. There's more air. That's the deal now. Put 10% more air in it. No one will know. We'll charge more, give them less. All right, I got 2 covers on a 1 tube. That seems crazy. All right, let's clean my hands for the 1,000th time today with the old tub of towels. Tub of towels right here. Tub of towels. Cleans this. Look at these hands. We'll get these hands clean. All right. Now I'm going to crawl under there and clean up the surface underneath. Grab me a light. I'll probably just spare you that. It's just really the same as how I put them on. I'm going to turn on the radio and listen to some music while I do that. And that way I don't get in a hurry. Big day. Big day. If you keep moving, you'll get some stuff done. Quit your job. Work on your project. There's old Jennifer, boys, and Sammy. Finish this up.
Welcome back, friends. Here's making a seat with Jenny Junkin. I've never done it before. It's not going to be perfect. I showed you guys in the Sunday video a little bit of where we were. I didn't want to do this on camera like for the first time ever because I didn't know how it's going to go with my machine here. This is an amazing little machine. Michelle Johnson gave me this out of the kindness of her heart to make Dick Banjo's quilt, and I have used it on multiple projects, but this is definitely a challenging one, but I'm up for it. So everything's been glued together here, our 1-inch padding, and I found it went through the machine better if I use that sheet that I used for the template on the back. So there's a tip for you. I got 1 row done on the first row there. It looks pretty good. But then when I finished the first row, it was not completely done in some spots. So I had to go back over it. When I did that, I pulled my fabric a little bit and I got a little off center there. But hopefully when I do the other ones, you can't tell that bad. I don't know. I didn't expect it to be perfect. That was my first pass, but it's not too shabby. I will put a thicker piece of foam under this one once I'm finished sewing it for cushion factor, obviously, but I didn't, this is a lot. I might have even gone with a 1/2 inch instead of the inch thick foam. That might be a tip for you, to use the standard machine. The machine itself is doing fine, but I kind of got to pull it through because it's so thick. So when I had just the foam on there, it definitely wasn't pulling it through. So that's why I put the fabric on there, so that that is the side that, like, the little teeth on the machine pull it through. I don't know, you may never do this in your life. I didn't know I would. I've sewn a lot, but I've never made a seat cover. So we're gonna do it. We're working on it. I'm listening to some old school Allison and Chains here on the radio. So I just felt like some retro rock today, and that's what I'm doing. This is what I'm working on. This is probably going to be fast forwarded, so keep watching. We'll see where we get. I got my hog ring pliers in the mail, so hopefully I can get this far enough that maybe I go back to Joann Fabrics and get some more foam and get to work on getting at least that piece of it finished, because I think I have everything that I need except for that extra piece of foam. So I don't know. I hate Joann Fabrics like a lot, and I looked at my receipt and I'm pretty sure they overcharged me, so I don't know. I'm knocking the tripod over. All right, that's gonna wrap it up for our Wednesday video. I did not get any further on the seat covers. The kids came home, so I'll catch you up on that on Sunday.
Yeah, that'll be an ongoing thing. Where truck's not ready to drive, but it would be nice to have the seats sitting here for when it is ready. Weather's moving in on us. It's raining and getting cold. Gonna have to prepare to build a fire tonight.
Yeah.
So we're putting stuff up, covering stuff up. We wish we was heading to Florida next week, but we got work commitments, family commitments. We can't go. We met a lot of great people there last year, so I'm kind of bummed out about that.
Real sad.
But we'll see y'all on the road next somewhere else. But that was a big lot of content. We're working on Pontiac. You see how my mind works. I'm crazy. I try to do a lot with nothing. These are things we have sitting around. Square bodies are moving forward. We're getting ready to do some body work. It's just we know you're bored of watching us work. We just hope you like us. You see, if you like us, then you'll watch us do anything.
Yeah.
So we are trying to inspire the common man to get up off his butt, go out in the garage, and do something. Go out in the driveway and do something.
And we want to see you when we show up in this stuff, and we want you to come say hi to us. And hopefully by next summer we have a heck of a lineup at every show, and you guys can come over and see everything that you've watched get built on YouTube, which is pretty cool.
One place you can really show your car off to us is our own show we have in May.
Yes, May 16th and 17th this year. It's a camping event.
Which sounds far away, but it's not.
It's not.
It's we was already working on it this time last year.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking yesterday I got to start working on the sponsorships, because we got some different plans for this year. We've got some big goals and some upgrades that we've done, so we can't wait to have you guys here and share a couple of days camping and hanging out with cars. That's the plan.
Yep.
Yeah, so make sure you get over to our website, also piece.n.grease.com. Get your hats, t-shirts, and stickers.
My dog, man.
I'll try.
We can't film around.
I'll try to mute it out. It's out of control.
He's high pitched.
Hats, t-shirts, stickers available now, shipping out every week. If you want early access to our videos, we do have a memberships program for $5.99 a month. You can sign up for that. That gives us a little extra support. We appreciate all of you that do.
Let's break 10,000 subs tonight.
Yes.
Come on.
Listen, we
check your buttons.
We're at 90. 978 right now.
Yeah,
So,
we're less than 25 from 10,000, and we need to get over by like 5 or 6 because they take them away in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I don't want to hit it and then wake up and not be there. That'd be sad. We want to celebrate. We've worked really hard to get here. You guys got us here. So we're hoping that today's the day we push through and we hit that 10K. We're shooting for it. Shooting for the stars.
We appreciate all of you. A lot of you are watching and aren't subscribed. It's free. Hit the button. Helps us grow. And we appreciate each and every one of you.
Absolutely. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we will catch you guys on Sunday. Thanks
Piece
so
of grease.
much.